Hey guys, welcome. So excited about our Q&A today because we are getting deeper and deeper questions every time that we do this. And I think we're getting more and more people who are excited and realizing that they are going to get their questions answered. So we're going to get started right away. I have a question from Erica. Let me see. I got out of the right one. Here we go. Okay, so Erica is asking a good question. I think this is a great question because I think a lot of people have this question. And even if we act confident in the moment and act like we feel good about how we're responding, I think a lot of times we actually are not sure if we're responding the best way. She says, so Erica says, after people have inquired about doTERRA on Facebook or in person, what do you send them? I think they need not too much information, just enough not to overwhelm them. What do you tell or send them? That is such a good question, Erica. And part of the reason I'm so excited about this question is because this is a question that we have when we're online, but we also have this question when we're working with people offline. When we're working with people, maybe our neighbor asks us about the oils, or somebody we're out at the park, or we're at the soccer game watching our kids play their, whatever sport they're playing. And we're talking to the parents and something happens and the essential oils come up. And then what happens is we want to help them with the oils. We're absolutely willing, but how much do we say? How much do we push? We don't want to pressure. We all know that part of the reason we're involved with doTERRA is because we don't want to be like the way network marketing is thought of. doTERRA has started a new trend for what network marketing should be, and we want to maintain that. So what do we say? What do we do? So this is the thing. Number one, always keep it service oriented. You know you have something that can help them, but that don't be tied to the result. You want to help them, but what if they don't? What if they say no? What if they're not interested? Well, then guess what? We need to be okay with that, because if we really are okay with that, when we start the conversation, guess what happens? Now, it doesn't matter which way it goes, and they can feel that from you. They can absolutely feel that from you. It's got to be the same online. So I'm going to actually tear this apart a little bit, talk about offline and how you do it differently online, because the reality is when you're doing stuff online, you have got to create the same emotion. So first I'm going to talk about offline, because think about the emotion you're trying to create. You want someone who goes, oh my goodness, they're essential oils, I haven't tried them. Oh, she's going to help me. Right? That's the feeling we want to create. Not like, oh no, now she's after me. Now she's never going to leave me alone. She's on the hunt. Okay. So when you talk to somebody, let's say that you meet someone that you haven't talked to before. And because it's a little bit harder to do that than with a friend. Because with our friends, we're more comfortable. We don't feel as awkward. But it's weird because even with our friends, in that moment where we're like, oh, I want to share the oils. Like we talked about the oils. Excuse me. They're kind of interested. But now I don't want to take it too far where it makes our friendship awkward. A lot of times then there's this awkward moment. So let it flow naturally. What would you do imagine you were talking about going to a movie? If you went to a movie that, you've seen a movie, you're not going to make sure you go tell every single person about that movie immediately. But as you're sitting talking with someone, something that, it comes up and you talk about what you did yesterday or whatever, and you talk about the movie. You're going, oh my goodness, I saw this. Have you seen Aladdin, the new Aladdin movie? Oh my goodness, it was awesome. Or have you seen the new Wonder Woman? And in fact, this is actually a real movie that's out right now. Have you guys seen, what's it called? The Great Alaskan Adventure or something like that. It's the one about the Alaskan dogs and that saved the little tiny town in Alaska, and they had an epidemic starting. If you haven't seen that, it is a really good movie. Go see that. It's a good family movie. Anyway, so let's say I've seen that movie. I'm talking to you, and we're talking about, my husband and I are going to go out tomorrow night, but we're not sure, what we're going to do. Oh my goodness, have you seen that movie? I'm going to bring it up, and I'm not going to go, okay, awkward. I don't know if they want to go see it, so I'm going to mention it and be all weird about it. And now they're going to go, how come you're acting like that? I'm going to go, I'm just going to be excited. I'm excited about it. Oh my goodness, have you seen that movie? We just saw it last week and it was awesome. It was really, really good. So, check that one out. Well, guess what? With the oils, you kind of want the same feeling. So when you're talking to someone offline, then what you do is you're talking about it. They're talking about, oh my goodness, all my kids have been having health challenges. It's the change of the seasons. It's getting cold. Everybody's been having to stay home from school. And do you immediately say, oh, try essential oils? No. What would you say if someone says, hey, my family has been having health challenges? We would go, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. That's the worst. And hopefully it hasn't been too bad. And I'm going to care about what they're saying first. Then after we've talked about it, I've listened, they know that I care about it. I'm going to say, because I honestly think, have you tried essential oils? And depending on their response, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to respond kind of the same way either way. They might say, oh no, we're not interested in essential oils. Or they might say, you know, yeah, everybody's freaking out about them, but I don't know what the big deal is. I mean, are they really real or whatever? Or yeah, I keep hearing about them. I don't really know how to use them. I actually already have some, whatever their response, even if it was negative, I'm not interested. Like, oh yeah, totally understand. We love them, and I can't believe what they do for us. Like there are certain things that we do that totally, like our kids don't even go through that. When it's the change of the seasons, we use certain essential oils that are just awesome. Just like you would do if somebody said, oh, I'm not interested in like the Marvel movies. And so what would you say? Oh, I feel so stupid that I said anything. No, you would go, oh my goodness, I love that movie. How come you don't like it? Right? That's how you want it to feel. Now, the way I end the conversation is always with, it's an open-ended. It's not, do you want to use oils? So that they have to say yes or no. You never want to make them say yes or no. I always end it by, you know, I talk to them about it as much as it feels comfortable. I'm not going to pressure, I'm not going to push, but I say, well, if you ever decide you do want to try them, like if somebody who said that they didn't like them and, you know, they're not interested, I say, oh my goodness, we totally, you know, I totally get that. But you had so much success. It's just unbelievable what we've seen happen. So we have ended up loving them. If you ever decide you want to try them, let me know, because I can give you a little bit to try. I always offer a free sample. But what if they were excited and they were interested and they loved it? Then I'm going to say the same thing, but not as, like, I'll be a little less laid back, because if they didn't like it, I'm going to be laid back and go, well, oh my goodness, I totally get it, as if I'm accepting their answer. If I'm too excited, it sounds like I'm trying to change their mind. I want them to feel like, oh yeah, that's fine. I don't care if you change your mind. We love them. If you ever do decide you want to try them, there's this one that we use. It's awesome. I can totally just give you some to try, like that. Okay. And then what happens is the minute you do that, they go, oh, okay. They're not going to try to force me. They're not going to try to pressure me. And then I immediately change the subject, not in an awkward way, not where it's like, I didn't even finish the sentence. I say, yeah, if you ever do decide you want to try it, let me know, because I can totally give you a little bit for free. Well, I wouldn't even say a little bit for free, because that sounds like I'll give you a little bit for free and then you can buy some from me. I just want it to be, you know, I can totally give you some to try. Totally like that. I can give you a free sample to try. And then I finish. There's a normal pause between at the end of a sentence. You wouldn't go, you know, if you ever want to try it, if you ever do want to try it, let me know, because I have some that is awesome for that, you know, we just love, and I can give you some, like that. And then, but if I said, and I can give you some, and by the way, how's your son? I wouldn't do that. I'd go, I could totally give you some. Then there's a natural pause after a sentence. And then I would say, so what do they have? Or I might even change the subject to something that's a little more, not totally changing the subject, but if I go straight into, well, how are your kids sick? Now they could feel like, oh my goodness, she's going to keep trying to hound me about these oils. Then instead, I'm going to say, how many days have they missed? And totally lead the topic to something else. And, you know, like, so have they, you know, like I'll ask questions about that. I might say, have they been like, here we are at the soccer game. I'll say, have they been having to miss soccer? Have they been, and just slowly let the conversation guide it to something else. So that what I'm trying to let her know, or him, or whoever I'm talking to, is I'm done talking about that. I'm done. And you want to know what happens? I didn't do that on purpose. I just did that because I didn't want them to feel uncomfortable. But let me tell you what happens. When you change the subject and go to something else because you've honored what they've said, then, or even if they were interested in the oils, you say, oh my goodness, yeah, there's this one that I love that I can totally give you a little sample of so that you can try it. So we talk about that. And then even if they're excited to keep talking and talking about the oils, I'm still going to change the subject. I'm going to say, well, you said that your son was, you know, your son had gone on a trip to Italy. Is he still there, or did he come home yet? I'm going to help them understand that I'm interested in other parts of their life. I don't just want to help them with the oils, okay? So this is what it does. They go, oh, they're not going to bug me. And well, wait, I want to know more about those oils. I'm kind of interested. What about this or what about that? And you'll be shocked if you end up talking to them for very long and you've changed the subject and start talking about something else. You'll be shocked how many times that you'll talk about something else and they'll say, well, when you use those oils, how do you use them with your kids? Like they'll bring it back to the topic of the oils and you just keep doing the same thing. You talk about it because they asked a question, you answer it honestly and tell how you would use it and say, well, I just do this and da, 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 and it's awesome. And I'll throw in something that is powerful and intriguing each time there's a little section about the oils. And then I change the subject again. Not because I'm trying to fake them out, but because I want them to know and have no question that I'm interested in other parts of their life. This isn't all I'm interested in. Okay, so what do you do online? Online, somebody shows an interest. Remember what I said about all the offline, because that's the same feeling you want to create. And in many ways, it's the same thing, although you've kind of got to create a friendship first. And it's weird how, I don't care if you never talked to this person before, if you're at a soccer game and your kids are both in the soccer game, we'll create an automatic bond and a feeling of trust, even though there's no reason to trust each other. But you kind of are in the same phase of life, sort of. You're involved in something that's similar, whether you met at church or you met on an airplane. You're both traveling for some reason. So you're it creates a bond. But if you've never met a person before and your kids aren't involved in something together, so you met somebody online, guess what happens? It just takes a minute more to create that feeling. Now they are responding to you online for some reason. They're either following you, they saw something you posted that they liked, or maybe that they didn't like, or something. And you've created a connection. So what happens is now you need to first empower the relationship. Make sure the relationship is strengthened a little bit so that you are asking them questions. They say, so I saw that you do essential oils and I'm interested in essential oils. I would not just go, oh, I can totally tell you about essential oils. I would say, oh my goodness, I would totally love to help you with those. So where are you from? And then I'm going to get to know them a little bit first, because do we care about them or not? How can we help them? How can I help this person with essential oils if I don't know who they are? I don't know if they have a family. I don't know if they need the oils for their kids. I don't know where they live. Maybe they live in an area where there are tons of bugs in the summer. You see what I'm saying? If I can learn a little bit about them, it helps me know how to help them. So my first job is to connect with them as a friend. Now, don't connect with them as a friend and ignore the question that they asked. The reason they reached out to you, address it briefly, but don't go into a whole essential oils class. So they say, I'm interested in these oils that you do. I would totally be excited and say, oh my goodness, I love them and they've changed my life. And so I could totally help you with those. But, tell me, so where are you? Where do you live? Are you in the US? I'm going to get to know them first. Now I've created a little bit of that bond that you do when you are offline. Once I have that, the beauty of it is they've reached out to you. If they're asking about the oils, you can go right into it. But what I'm going to do is address it a little more like I might do a wellness consult, although not the full wellness consult, just the way you would start the wellness consult. How do you start the wellness consult? You start by asking all about health stuff. So tell me, you take the role as the expert. If you're brand new, you haven't done doTERRA before, you still take the role as the expert. Have you been in it longer than them? Yes, twice as long. If you've been in one day, you've been in twice as long as them. When they've been in one day, you've been in 2 days, okay? So take the role as the expert, but you don't have to, like for me, I have enough experience and years. Do I know everything? No way. There's so much I don't know. The more I learn, the more I realize there's even way more that I don't know. But I need to take, I don't need to, I can do whatever I want, but I choose to take the role of the expert who I have a lot of experience, I have credibility, and I can totally help you. And the answers that I don't have, I have connections with the people, I can find them, I can get them, and I know where to look. Okay, so that's the role I play, or that I take on when I'm working with someone. And you can take on that role, you do not have to know everything. I'm not a Dr. Hill. I don't have to know, but I know how to find the answers. Do you guys know how to find the answers? Yes. You type in Google search, what essential oils would you use for this health challenge? You can totally look it up. They don't even know that is something they can do, because they don't realize how much information there is out there on essential oils. So this is where you start taking care of them. Find out what they need, and then you start. So like on a wellness consult, I would find out about their health challenges, what they're dealing with, what they want to use the essential oils for, and I would address two things when I'm helping them decide what oils and how to get started. Lifestyle is number one, and Laura Jacobs, by the way, has done some amazing trainings on lifestyle, teaching how, instead of just teaching about, hey, just use these oils in this enrollment kit, it's all about lifestyle. People want a lifestyle change that doesn't feel overwhelming. So if you address the specific health challenges that they have talked about, and you have addressed lifestyle, then you're not just going, oh yeah, just use On Guard because this is the issue that you're dealing with. Instead, you're going, oh my goodness, for this, On Guard is amazing. This is how we use it. And you kind of help them with that. These are a couple of other good oils for that. And there are some things that we do for preventative. So these essential oils are ones that I use every morning, blah, 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 whatever. And I would gear it toward the health challenges they have talked about. If they say, I just don't have as much energy, I'm just whatever, I've got 5 kids and I have the whatever it is, you address what they are asking about. So the truth is, online, you need to create the same feelings as you did offline. And that's what you do. So if there's something specific I send them, honestly, no, not to start with. At first, it's a relationship, okay? But that is different from if somebody approaches me in my social media, that's different. I would handle it like this. The people who approach me because I'm doing marketing online, saying I'm looking for people who want to share these oils and turn it into a business, my marketing online that does that, when they're reaching out to me, yes, they get automated emails that say, so excited that that you're interested in this, that you responded, and I'm excited to talk to you about it, or whatever. So we have our drip campaign emails that go out to these people, and it, that's a whole different thing. Okay, so but for what we're talking about right now, this is how I would address it. So that is one question. Okay, let me find my list again. Okay, so the next question is, Monica is asking, Teresa, I'm 3 years into building, but I'm stagnating. Oh, I know the feeling. And even making less money in the past 3 months. I struggle to be premier each month. I know I need to change my mindset and get a solid structure going. What can you tell me to help me to implement and get lots of people into my classes? I usually enroll between 1 to 5 people per month. Generally, they are from one-on-ones. Ooh, honestly, you're enrolling 1 to 5 people per month. That is awesome. If you're making less money, what that tells me is because most of the people in here will be going, 5 enrollments a month. I'd be super excited to be getting 5 enrollments a month. Okay, but and I'll answer the first part of your question, but I will say this first. If you are bringing in that many people a month, number one, good job on your one-on-ones. That means, you're kudos to you. You're doing awesome on the one-on-ones. I'll talk to you about the classes in a minute. But what that tells me is that you are not doing the steps that turn your people into leaders. Because I can promise you, if you're bringing in that many people, then there are people in there who are interested in sharing the oils. They're either interested in sharing and or building, but you just haven't approached them in a way that they know how to handle that, okay? Or they know how to take the next step forward, because people are scared. I'll just tell you this, and some of you have heard me say this before, and you will hear me say it again. Most people would want to do this business if they felt like they would be successful. If they really felt like they could do it, they could be good at it. Because the way we do it in doTERRA is beautiful. We share with people, we help people. But network marketing scares people. What do you hear? Most people, they don't do it because they think they wouldn't be good at it. I can't tell you how many times people say, oh, well, good for you. That's because you have the personality. And I'll tell you what, I have so many people on my team who are crazy successful, who have a completely different personality than me. I have a girl on my team who started out as an agoraphobic. She could not leave her home. And she grew a big team, okay? So don't tell me it's all about, oh, you have to be outgoing and you have to be able to have a certain kind of personality. That is absolutely not true. But so for helping turn your people into builders, or finding out who it is that wants to share, because I believe, and I'm just saying this because it's based on my experience with thousands, if not probably tens of thousands of people who are struggling with this issue. And almost always, when your volume is going down, it's either because you're not bringing people in, or it's because you're not knowing how to turn people into builders and or sharers. So you're already doing amazing with the bringing people in, and most people have both of those problems. So good job you. But as far as you're bringing people in, and there's actually a really simple way to solve this problem, and it is called the 3 pathways. I want you to go on my YouTube channel. I want you to find my video that is called the 3 pathways. And I want you to start doing that with every single person that you possibly can who comes onto your team. Because as you listen to the 3 pathways is a way, a really simple way to tell people about their different options. And there's just a little bit of wording that you need to do that leads you into being able to have that conversation with them. And I teach you how to do that on the 3 pathways. If those of you who are on here, good to see you guys. Melanie, Lori, Jennifer, Carol Ann. Oh, hi. Good to see you. It's fun to see people that I know, and it's fun to meet those of you I haven't met before. I met a lot of you guys at convention, so that was fun. Sandy, Stephanie, Maywood. Hello, you guys. Welcome. So I got all excited about the people that I recognize. So I forgot what we were talking. I mean, I didn't forget what we were talking about, but I forgot the question I asked you. Oh, the 3 pathways. So any of you who have used the 3 pathways and have seen the change in your business, I'd like you to comment on the site and tell what it has done. What changes has it made in your business? Even if it was just one person that you did this with. You know, what was something that you were able to be aware of now with them, or how were you able to help them better because now you knew? And I'm telling you, if you get really good at the 3 pathways, you will be able to find more builders, find sharers. It's unbelievable. And it also does several other things for your team. One of the things it does is it will help, like, let me give you a list of a few things. How many of you guys have people on your team who they say they want to build and then they don't do what they said they were going to do? How many people have someone who started avoiding their phone calls and you're thinking, okay, you said you want to build, I'm just trying to help you, and now you're acting like I'm pressuring you? How many of you guys have had leaders who are frustrated at you because they wanted more support and they felt like you didn't give them the support that they needed, and you know, they're frustrated? All of these things, I am not kidding you, 95% of it will be solved if you will start doing the 3 pathways with every single person you bring in when it's appropriate. You'll know how I teach you how to be able to do the 3 pathways with someone. Once in a while it won't be appropriate, but I could easily do the 3 pathways with almost every single person. So that's going to truly solve that problem. I spent more time on that because it is a big deal. So I wanted you to know that. Second, I want to address the whole, let me see the first part of the question. You said, I struggle to be premier each month. I know I need to change my mindset. Good job, you. You know what I love about this question is that, Monica, you have taken total ownership. You're not blaming it on anyone else. You're totally saying, I need to change this. I need to learn this. Honestly, I love that because that tells me you are going to see success. And by finding people who want to share and build, that's going to be huge, because obviously now you'll have people that you can work with. But you're saying, how do I do, let's see, how do I, tell me how to implement and get lots of people into my classes. So, because you're doing great on one-on-ones. This is the deal. I am going to tell you, in fact, I'll tell you where you can find it. On my teresaharding.com, I have a training that is phenomenal. Not phenomenal because I'm phenomenal. It's phenomenal because this has come from several different leaders on my team and been put together in a training that is the most powerful training on how to get people to your classes. And it starts with the step of sharing a sample. Okay, so I want you to look up, you go to teresaharding.com in my resources section, and we'll put the link up here as soon as this is over. But go to resources, and some of you I know will be on there right now doing that. Then go to business, because you're looking for business resources. And inside of business, there are a whole bunch of options. You have handouts, you have scripts, you have all kinds of things. Go to scripts. And this is one script that I have set up for you that is absolutely phenomenal. It's called How to Sample Effectively. And it's called How to Sample Effectively, but really it takes you from sampling all the way to getting people to the class. And I am telling you, if you will follow that strictly, absolutely strictly, what will happen is you will start getting more people to your classes. The people who come to your classes are more prepared to buy, so you'll have more buyers, and you'll have people who want to have classes off of classes. Okay, so, and the second thing I will tell you, well, before we do that, I want to see a couple of the comments. Let's see. Anelaza says, OMG, at that moment, I give them an A to Z guide for free to look through it and think about the oils. That's a great idea. Give them a few hints and smile at them. Then I take off towards my work. That is awesome. Yes, yes. Always good to have like an A to Z guide. Something that, one of the reasons I love the A to Z guides is because it's beautiful, number one, and they can look through it and it has several different health challenges, tons of different health challenges. So they might have been asking you about their child's nose that they can't breathe properly because they're kind of having a health challenge and it's kind of stuffy. Okay. So they might have talked to you about that, and you talk to them about essential oils. You talk to them a little bit about breathe. When you give that to them, and I would even open it up and show them where that health challenge is. And because then what I'm doing is I say it's super easy. And then I hand it to them, show it to them, because guess what? Now, not only do they see the essential oils are listed right there. It's so easy. All you have to do is look it up. They now start seeing all these other health challenges, and they start going, oh, there are oils for this or that or the other thing. Yes. So that's a great, great thing to do. Okay. So, oh my goodness, we have people on here from Finland. Katie, thanks for joining us. That's a good idea to tell me where you're coming in from. So Jennifer saying, how do I access info on the 3 pathways? Probably you asked that right before I told where to find it. It's on my YouTube channel. So that video is there. It might even be in my teresaharding.com in the resources section. And I know we have handouts for that. So there might be the handout in teresaharding.com. We'll double check and see where we have the outline for the 3 pathways. But one of the things I tell you in the video is do not take that typed up outline for 3 pathways and put it in front of the person. Do not do that. You need to write it out as you're talking with them. Otherwise it feels way different and you kind of ruin the feel. Okay. How do you get a person that was building then gave up to get them back? That's a really good question. Okay. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But what I want to talk to you about is we talked about getting people in the seats, how to sample effectively. That will get people in the seats. And I will tell you, if you want help with that, then you need to go check out onesampleaway.com, because on that website, onesampleaway.com, I tell you all about it's a 30-day challenge that I do with people, and where I hold your hand. So if I had a brand new person who is my qualifying leg and they want to hit diamond in 2 months, I am telling you, this is exactly what I would do with them. If I have a new person who I'm working personally with, and I don't care if they want to build slower, I don't care if they want to build faster. This first 30 days is the exact same thing I do, okay? Because one of the things we want to do is make sure that we're setting up the structure properly, that we know what to do with these people, we know exactly how to approach them, exactly how to handle it, exactly how to talk to them, all those things. So go check out onesampleaway.com. And you guys know most of the stuff I give, almost all the stuff I give to doTERRA people is all free. If we're doing a retreat, then people have to pay to come, of course, because we're paying for venues, whatever. But what I will tell you is this. I started off with the onesampleaway.com, not charging for it, and people weren't completing it. They weren't finishing it. They'd quit because it was, oh, I can do it later. But when I gave everybody the content and the information in One Sample Away, and I charged them $100, and then they got to do it. They get all the information, all the videos, all the trainings, everything they need every single day. I give you exactly what you need, and I walk you through it. I hold your hand and hold your feet to the fire to do what you need to do for the first 30 days. This is if you want to launch your business, if you want to relaunch, if you're stagnant, this is exactly what you need, because I can't mentor everyone, right? This is a way that I can give the top level mentoring to every person who wants it. And what happens at the end of the 30 days is all the videos and the training disappear. So you do it or you lose it. And I've seen a huge difference. So that is one that I charge for. Go check it out. Okay, so, but what about your people who They were building and then they gave up. How do you get them back? Part of the issue is why did you lose them? You might have lost them because they had a baby. You might have lost them because they had a tragedy in the family. You might have lost them because they got really busy and now they feel guilty about coming back to you because they didn't do what they said they were going to do. It might be because you pressured them. There are so many different reasons. So I'll just do kind of a generic response, and you can tailor it to whatever your situation is. Okay, so in general, something happened and there was an issue with the relationship. Even if it's because they feel guilty, even if it's because they're upset with you, even if it's because they feel like they didn't do what they were supposed to do, it doesn't matter. Even if they change their mind about what they want to do as far as building their business, it doesn't matter. Something in the relationship is awkward for them, because if it wasn't, they would have come and said, hey, Teresa, so, I want to take a break from my business right now. If they didn't, something's going on, okay? And we need to find out what it is in a way that is, that's not awkward, not blaming, and not pressuring. So this is something that you can do. And the beauty of this is you are taking full ownership. You are saying, oh my goodness, I just learned. I would go watch the 3 pathways, go watch it, and watch it like 2 or 3 times first. And you guys, it's not a short video. And there's a reason for that, because I make sure you understand how you say it, how you word it, how, like, your tone of voice, everything, all those things matter in that moment, okay? So go watch it until you feel like you totally get it, and you go to this person and say, oh my goodness, let's say her name is Jennifer. Jennifer, I totally learned something crazy that I am realizing. What you do is you take full responsibility. And so, well, let me use an example of someone who I've had worked with people before who they act like they're mad at their leader because the leader stopped, or they're bugged at the leader. She said she wanted to do this, and now she's doing XYZ and she's not doing it. And I've helped them, like, as we talk and I find out what's going on. I'm not saying this is your situation, Jackie, but I'm just using this as an example for a second. As we get down to the bottom of it, I can tell right away that the other person felt pressured. The other person always felt like they were being hounded, whatever. So what I tell them, what I have them do is go to the person, go to Jennifer and say, hey, you know what? I owe you an apology. I just learned something really powerful that is kind of a way to find out how to help people the way they want to be helped, not how I want them to do it or how I think it should be done. And I can't even believe, I wish I'd learned this sooner. It's awesome. And so I just want to apologize to you that I didn't address it this way, because whether they were upset with you or guilty or whatever, all of a sudden, what does that feel for them? Oh my goodness, that's so nice that, you're not blaming me, you're not mad at me. That lets them know right away what your mindset is. And so you go to them, I just want to apologize to you for that. And don't apologize 10 times. I'm just kind of getting back in the swing of it unless I reiterate it. But when I'm talking to them, I would just apologize once. I'd say, I just have to apologize to you because I just learned this new thing. And it's a way to talk with someone about the essential oils and whether they want to just use them as a consumer, if they want to share them a little bit, or if they want to build a business. And it's a way of finding out what they want and what they need. And I've realized that what I do is I come in, based on a conversation we have, I assume what I think you want, and then I go in and try to do that instead of doing a better job finding out what it is that you really want. And so I would love to do this with you because I learned this new thing and I want to find out if I can do this better. So in a way, you're letting them help you be better at this. And if the person says, yeah, well, I wanted to do the business, but I don't really want to do it anymore, or, I just feel like it's going to take too much time, or all that kind of stuff, you want to know what that means. If somebody says, if you've been working with someone and you're talking to them and now they say, well, I'm realizing it's going to take too much time. Guess what happened? You made them feel like it was going to take too much time because they had an idea in their mind about how much time that they could do, and they wanted to build the business based on what they had in their head. But when we work with them, we start telling them all this stuff and they go, oh, wait a second, that was more than I thought. Okay, so if they start coming back with all these, I didn't realize this, or I'm realizing, there's too much responsibility. There's too much whatever. I'm gonna have to spend too much time taking care of people. Well, guess what? They really don't have to spend too much time taking care of people. My job is to find out how much time did you want to spend. You wanted to build. You obviously thought you had a certain amount of time. Of course, we don't say it this way. In the 3 pathways, I teach you how to say it. Say it the way the 3 pathways does. And then you sit down and do the 3 pathways with them. Okay? And that is huge. Okay, let me do Donna's question. Okay, Donna says, what does a growing leader's schedule really look like? This is a good question. We have been working on schedules with the leaders on my team. There are lots of variables that need to be considered. What is important? How do we keep the momentum and consistency? So many stagnant leaders working hard, but now their checks are actually decreasing month by month, with so many areas needing to be included in a daily, weekly schedule. What ideas and suggestions do you have? Oh my goodness, Kate. This is a big question. And I wish we had about a half-hour training to talk about this, but I'm gonna give you 2 things that are gonna be huge for you, okay? Number 1 is having your weekly schedule. So in teresaharding.com, in the resources section, I think it's under handouts, I have a weekly schedule. And every time that I am feeling like my life is getting out of control, or I'm not getting enough done with my business, or I'm not having enough time with my family, anytime I don't feel like I like the way things are in my life or in my schedule, I pull it out and I do it again. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to pull out, we'll put the link here also. Okay. You're going to pull out that weekly schedule. And what you're going to think in your mind is, I'm going to look at doing this, and it's kind of a rough draft. So do it all in pencil the first time. And then as the week goes by, you'll make changes. And it might take another week and another week. But basically, you'll get to a place where you're like, hey, this is my schedule. Now, for me, I might need to do mine more often because my travel schedule, I am liking to travel a lot right now. So it changes. My schedule might change from week to week. I don't really have a steady schedule that I can say, oh, every Tuesday I'm going to do this. So you guys, it's honestly a pretty big deal that I do this call with you guys, because I don't really, my schedule changes so much. And I love it. And it's actually good for me because it forces me to do what I love, which is connecting with you guys. So this is the deal. What you want to do is you want to look at that schedule, and on the top, you'll notice there are a bunch of lines up at the top, and they're blank. Those blank lines at the top are for you to write down every single priority that you think is important. Okay. Every priority. The way that you think about this is what I tell people when I work with them. You need to think of every single thing that is important to you. And it's the kind of thing where if you did not do it for 5 years, 5 years from today, if you never did that thing, would you regret it? So if you love music and you love to play the piano, you might think, well, I can kind of put that on the back burner for 6 months to a year while I work on my business. No, I'm talking 5 years. If you didn't spend time with your kids for 5 years, would you regret that? I hope so. If you did not go on a date with your spouse for 5 years, would you regret it? Yes. Every single thing. For me, my music, my vocal stuff. I love to sing. I love to do musical theater. I was willing to put the musical theater on the back burner for a little bit, but not willing to stop singing. Okay. So if I didn't do that for 5 years, would I regret it? Yes. If I wasn't in plays and theater, would I regret it for 5 years? Yes, I would regret that. So I add all those things in there, and it's best if you add all the different categories of your life. In fact, when I'm working with someone, I tell them they have to have stuff from physical, from educational, from relationships, from spiritual, all the different categories of your life. Make sure those are included. Financial is one. So if you never went over your money for 5 years, would you regret it? Yes. Then after you have all your priorities down, knowing that you want to do doTERRA, what you need to do is put all your other priorities into your calendar first. Not doTERRA. Knowing that you want to do doTERRA. Because what people need to understand is, guess what? I will never sacrifice my priorities, my family, for my business. Never. So those have to go in first. And guess what happens? Like on mine, I put date night as one of the nights at the end of the week with my husband. And I said, you know what? I want to do dates from 3 o'clock until 9 o'clock at night. And so we can do that. We have a schedule where we can do that. But as I started putting everything in, once everything was in, and then I put doTERRA in, and how I wanted to do these calls. I wanted to create content for you guys. I wanted to do all the things I want to do with my business. I started readjusting and going, oh, okay, this 4 hours on Saturday where I'm going to work on my projects, maybe Saturday, I'm not going to work on Saturdays. unless I'm doing a retreat or something, because that's my choice right now. But maybe I'll do 3.5 hours of my project on Saturday, and then Saturday I'll put an hour in there where I get to go play tennis with my husband, and instead of doing that on Tuesday night or whatever. So what happens by the time I'm done is I start whittling away a few things here and there. I'm not giving them up, but I might not take 7 hours for my date. I might take away an hour from my date night, say, okay, we'll do 6 hours together, but that gives me an hour to do interviews with people that I can post on my podcast or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So that way I get to make sure that nothing is left out of my schedule. So that's the first part of that answer to that question. The second piece, and redo that every time you need, because what that will do for your people, Connie, is that who asked that question? Yeah. Oh, Donna, sorry. So Donna Wiggins, thank you for the question. But what that will do for your people is help them realize what they aren't doing in their business. They put all their priorities in, and when you have to put what you're going to do with your business, you start going, oh, I better do leadership calls. I better spend time, I better do 1 class a week, or I better do this, or I better, I need to make sure I include this, working with my leaders, whatever. Then they start going, oh, well, I haven't been doing that. And they start to, part of it, it's a psychological thing. It starts to help them realize what they haven't been doing and going, oh, that's why I haven't been successful. Because it's really easy to say, I've been working so hard and my business is not growing. Yeah, you might be working really hard, but you never hold classes and you never share samples with people. So as soon as they start to put that in, it changes things. And the things that we're kind of scared of or that we avoid a little bit because it's less comfortable for us. Like for me, if I meet new people and I talk to them about the oils, oh my goodness, that's so easy for me. But if I say, okay, I'm going to do 20 samples this week and I need to make sure I do 20, then I start having to make my list of 100. I have to think about who I'm going to talk to. That is less comfortable for me than just talking to the people I meet. So I might end up making sure that I'm meeting new people everywhere I go, to the point where I do my 20 in the way that I like best. But if that's not working, I know I got to fill it in with the last 5 people doing it, with my list or whatever. Okay. So that's the first part of that. Then what was the second part? Oh, that they're, what to do because they're working hard and their teams are stagnant, or they're losing, like they're not making as much as they used to make. Honestly, if they have a team, that means they're awesome. They have skills. They know how to share the oils with people. They knew how to create a team. Those are things they can still keep doing. But why keep doing it if you're not really going to increase your income, if you're not really going to be able to build the business that you wanted to build? So usually the thing that's lacking is the skill of knowing how to guide your people to be successful. Okay. So if you need help with that, then number one, I'm going to give you some basic outline of what that schedule looks like for me if I have a new person that I'm working with, so that you can see how much time I spend a week helping my new leaders. If I have a qualifying leg, let's say I'm doing double presidential, what does that look like? Okay. And so I'll share that with you, and then I'll share with you something that you can do that's I've kind of set up that's ready made for you. Okay. What I do with people in my schedule is a leader. We used to think that if I had a qualifying leg, I needed to have a daily leadership call with them every day as I'm training them. But guess what we've learned? So unnecessary. Absolutely don't need that. You want to know what they get? They get 1 meeting with me a week. If they're a serious builder, like what I would call a number 3 builder, serious, they really want to build and go, then they get an hour once a week. If they're a sharer and they want to build, but they're what I would call a number 2, they're really interested in building, but they're not all, going to go maybe full time. And when I say, let me qualify that. Full time does not necessarily mean 40 hours a week. Full time to me means they are going to do all the actions that someone who wants to build seriously and steadily is going to do. Okay. Some people can do that in much less time per week. But some people, it takes them longer to do it because maybe when they're talking to someone about the oils, they take longer in the conversation, whatever. Okay. So a number 2 builder, it's not necessarily an exact number of hours. It's more somebody who's, 3 to 5 hours a week, maybe, or more, or whatever. Okay. And with a consumer, I'm going to make sure that they get taken care of, but it's not like we're going to have a special half-hour call every week. I'm going to make sure I do a wellness consult with them. So this is what happens when I get somebody new. I don't care if they're if they just want to consume, if they're a sharer or a builder, they're all getting a wellness consult. They're all getting a 3 pathways. So I'm going to do the 3 pathways with them. I'm going to do the wellness consult with them. And in my trainings on YouTube and in One Sample Away, I teach you exactly how to address that, so it makes it exciting, so that they're not doing the wellness consult because you're like, okay, next thing we need to do is a wellness consult. They're doing the wellness consult with you and they're feeling like, oh, I can't believe you're going to take the time. You're going to take the time to do that with me? I can't believe that. You're so nice. Thank you for taking care of me this way. Okay? Because that is valuable, and they need to realize that you are adding something of value for them, but not in a way that makes it like you're aggrandizing yourself. Okay. So that's one thing they're going to do. Usually the wellness consult should take you try for 20 minutes. It can end up going a little bit longer. Some people take a whole hour. I would recommend an hour is fine, but it needs to be like the actual wellness consult should be 20 minutes. This is the problem if you start taking longer, because you might think, well, I like to create this feeling and I want to take longer. I want to take the time. Well, guess what? Every single thing you do, your people now think they have to do the exact same thing. Does everybody have time for an hour wellness consult if you're bringing in 5 people every month? No, not everybody has time for that. So if you do it in 20 minutes, and sometimes it goes long for 30 minutes, that's a lot more doable. So, and it can be done in that amount of time. And what you do is when you start the wellness consult, you set the standard. You say, okay, so this usually takes about 20 minutes, and this is what we're going to cover. In the first 5 minutes, we're going to do this. Then we're going to talk about this. And in the last 10 minutes, we're going to do this. And now they know, oh, okay, we're on a schedule, without it feeling like, okay, move on now. We need to be done talking about this part. Okay, so 3 pathways, wellness consult. And the only times I don't do a 3 pathways with someone is if they're absolute consumer. I have no opportunity to approach the 3 pathways the way I teach you how to approach it, okay? And if it's not appropriate, then I don't bring that up. But for most people, that's what I do. Then if they are a sharer or a builder, I'm all excited with them, and I tell them, okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to set up our weekly strategy session. So on my website, teresaharding.com, I have in the handout section of the resources, the business area, I have handouts that are the weekly strategy worksheet. Okay, there's a weekly strategy worksheet, and it says simplified. That's the one I want you to use. There's one that's more advanced. Don't use that one to start. Okay, that's more. We use that one when we're helping people. They're really trying to hit rank by the end of that month. We're halfway through the month and they're like, you know what, I'm getting closer to silver. I want to hit silver. We're going to really have to do a big push. That's when we use the advanced one, okay? Or they're trying to hit diamond, or they're trying to hit blue diamond, okay? Use the simplified version. And there is a simplified paper for the downline and one for the upline. So if you're helping your person, you're running a strategy session, guess what? That teaches you exactly what to do. Walks you through the process of running the strategy session with them. And when they come to the strategy session, they come already with their strategy worksheet filled out, basically for the most part, and we're going to review it together. And, well, not the first time. The very first time I say, bring this stuff, print out the handout. I give them some assignments because they need to have something to do. And then they come with this paperwork and we fill it out together. Or usually I'll say, I want you to write down your 3 goals, or I'll have them fill out just a little bit of it because I want to guide them through the first time. And then every time after that, I tell at the end of the first strategy session, I say, okay, so that's what's happening this week. Now I know exactly what kind of support you need and what you need from me and what I can do to help you. And text me anytime you need anything. And next strategy session, I want you to come with your strategy worksheet completely filled out. And the other thing we do in the strategy session is the first thing we do is we go over their circle chart. So if they're going for silver, then on their silver chart, it has the little circles, which is also in my resources, you guys. You can go just print them out. And they have to tell what the volume is in that leg. And there's some little bit of information that they fill out. When they come to the strategy session, we go over their team and the structure first, decide what needs to happen next about that. And then we go over their strategy worksheet. That's it. Okay. So once a week. And as you learn about the strategy worksheet, you'll be shocked. at how little time they need from you throughout the week. Now, I have been preparing more and more videos for you guys and for me. So for example, instead of needing to come back on here, spend another hour teaching you how to do the 3 pathways, I did a video for my YouTube channel so that I can tell you guys, I want you to go watch that, and then now you can do it. If I'm working personally with someone, the beauty is I don't need to now spend an hour teaching them how to do the wellness consult, or an hour teaching them how to do the 3 pathways. I say, okay, the next thing that we need to do is we need to practice the 3 pathways. You need to learn how to do a wellness consult. So I did a wellness consult with you. I want you to go watch that video, how to do a wellness consult. And then the next time we get together, you're going to practice on me. Or better yet, we're going to get on the phone. I'm going to get on the phone with you, with your person that you just enrolled. You're going to do the 3 pathways, but I'll help you. We'll kind of team do it, and I'll guide you through the process. But go watch that video. So it saves me so much time. And everything that I am putting together with content is exactly what I need to maximize my time, to give my leaders world-class service. Because I wasn't giving them world-class service. I was getting too busy. But they have to have what they need. If you're not doing weekly strategies with your leaders every single week, then that is one of the biggest reasons why your team is stagnating or going down. Now, remember, if you have a leader who was building and isn't now, you can't just go say, let's start having strategy sessions. Maybe you might be able to, depends on your relationship with them, but it might be best to tell them about the 3 pathways thing. I just learned this new thing. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. I have to apologize to you because I have been approaching this wrong. I think you're gonna love this. So I wanna do this thing with you that I just learned, because it's a way that I find out what you need, how to help you the way you need to be helped, okay? So Toyin says, hi Teresa, thank you for your generosity and support, thanks. Where can we submit questions? You just ask the questions in this Facebook group, like just comment and ask a question. And when you ask those questions, my office team, they put together a list of questions. They give me all the questions and I just get through as many as I can. So anyways, you guys, we spent a lot of time together today. Hopefully that was helpful. And Jackie says, I love scheduling. Yeah, I love scheduling because I know what it does for my life. And for those of you who do not love scheduling and you hate feeling controlled by your schedule, like, I don't want to have to do that right now. Just trust me. Just do it for 30 days. 30 days, do your weekly schedule and treat it like it's life or death. You have to do it like that, and then change it as the days go, like as you realize, oh, that wasn't enough time with my family. That wasn't enough time. You know, I put church in there, but I didn't leave enough time to travel to church. You'll kind of tweak it and fix it. Treat it like you have to be super strict about it just for 30 days. Because after 30 days, you'll get in the habit. Because I like freedom. I don't like feeling like I'm tied down to something. I have to do that. I can do whatever I want. But when my life isn't happening the way I want, when my business isn't happening the way I want, guess what happens? The minute I start doing this, everything changes. So you guys, I love you. Thank you for joining me. It's fun to have you guys on here. Totally submit your questions. We'll always try to get to as many as we can. And we'll obviously keep these videos in the archives. And in fact, maybe we'll start these videos up. And like, for example, for each question, that could be a YouTube topic. So maybe that's what we'll do, is start splitting some of these up so that they're separate questions on YouTube. Oh, it looks like people are liking that idea. Okay, love you guys. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.